What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck. Okay, so many of you have asked about some of the alternatives regarding NovaTech and how you may be able to try to, recover your funds by other means. So one of the options that I had said, early on in my reporting NovaTech is that one of my mom's friends went to his bank and was able to get a refund by filing a fraud claim with the bank. And he was able to, show the transaction. It was, on his bank profile, of course. He log in online banking, you can see all your transactions. So, the transaction itself came straight from his bank account. And I've also made, very clear that every bank is different. Plus, you have a couple other factors in his situation that made it unique. The amount was not even over $1,000, and he had filed the claim, I think, within 30 to 60 days of the transaction. So each bank has, its own unique set of policies on how to get a refund from, being a victim of a Ponzi scheme or scam or anything like that. So what you want to do first is try to notify your bank and ask about, what is the timely filing limit? Is it, some banks go up to 120 days, some even go up to 180 days that they give you to file, a claim to dispute charges, especially if it's proven that this is indeed a scam or a fraudulent transaction. So make sure you ask them about that, and then ask them, what evidence can you provide to help, present your case and to give you a better chance of recovering some of your money. So one thing is for sure, the transaction has to be clearly seen on your bank account. If you took money out and withdrew money out of an ATM, and then, you put money into NovaTech that way, it's not going to be plausible for you to prove to the bank that this transaction was fraudulent when it was just an ATM withdrawal. So make sure you have the proof in your, with your account, that you can show the transaction directly from your account to NovaTech. So here's some information that I was able to, just kind of look up and find online. This is from the Federal Trade Commission, and this article kind of goes over what you can do as far as your options if you've been scammed. So it kind of goes over the baseline definition when it comes to the various scams that can occur with, with your bank account. So if you've been scammed, they have options here that you guys might want to take a look at. And it's from how to recover from a credit card or debit card to an unauthorized transfer, gift card. I know a few of you asked me about what if it's Cash App or something to that extent, then what should you do? In that situation, you have two options. You can contact Cash App because they actually transferred the money from your account as its own third-party company to the account of the destination where the money was supposed to go. So you may be able to notify Cash App, the company, and ask them, what options would you have. But even the more, if you linked your debit card or your bank account to your Cash App account, then you can also file that claim with your bank. if you have your Cash App set as its own, basically if you opt to get that Cash App card, then you wouldn't be able to call and put a claim in with the bank. You would have to call Cash App, because whenever you cash out from Cash App, you put it on a debit card that is not associated with a bank. It's associated with Cash App itself. So I know, me personally, I have an account connected to my Cash App. However, if, like I said, if it's not connected to your bank debit card, it's going to be more difficult to prove if you file a claim with the bank. So the only option you would have, if you opted to receive the Cash App debit card, would be to notify Cash App. So, you know, you have here options for wire transfers through your bank. Once again, you can contact your bank on that, see if they can do a reversal. This is the money transfer app option that I was just speaking about with Cash App. So that's what this option is considered to be. If you have money you sent through a money transfer app like Cash App or Zelle or PayPal, you have to contact those companies that facilitated the actual transfer from your account to the account of, you know, the designated account where the money is going. So if you pay with cryptocurrency, you know, you guys know that this is been one of the biggest headaches dealing with NovaTech, is this whole crypto stuff. But you can always, you know, try to see if, because most people know you might not be able to recover your crypto itself unless NovaTech just provides a refund from the crypto in their e-wallet. You might be able to, if you, let's say you purchase crypto or whatever, and you facilitated that over eToro or Kraken. So those platforms are like, you know, crypto trading platforms allows you to buy, sell, and trade crypto. So the best bet would be in that situation, if you went through Kraken and purchased, you know, your crypto, and then you decided to put that crypto into NovaTech, then whatever platform you use to purchase the crypto, you would have to contact that platform. So like I said, if you used eToro, or if you used Kraken, or, you know, any other major crypto trading platform, and then you invested or you put crypto into NovaTech and not actual US dollars, but maybe it was USDT, and you gave up so much of, you know, USDT, like $20,000 of USDT. If you did it through a third-party platform like Kraken, you have to notify Kraken. So for the most part with crypto, the only two options is NovaTech gives you back the money in your e-wallet, or you notify the actual provider that you purchased your crypto from. So, and I'm saying Kraken and eToro because those are like the top two legitimate ones I can think of off the top of my head. So, and then of course the last option here is about sending cash. Now, it's never a smart thing to do to send cash in the mail, but in the event that, you know, you did that, first of all, NovaTech could easily be charged with mail fraud if they did that, because they a flat-out Ponzi scheme. But it's going to be really difficult to try to track it if you sent cash directly through the mail. Now, I have to read this option because there are a few people out there who still do that. You know, they still mail money. But for the most part, a lot of these transactions nowadays are all electronic. So you can contact your banks, or if you pay with a credit card, contact the credit card company. I don't know if NovaTech takes credit cards, but, you know, I mean, you know, they money hungry, so they'll probably take whatever. A gift card I've never heard of that. But in the event you are scammed with a into a scam with a gift card, then you of course will keep your receipt, keep the card itself, and then contact the company that issued that gift card. So if it's hypothetically, if it's a Visa debit card, you would have to contact Visa. Or if it's a gift card with like Walmart, you would have to contact Walmart. So of course they have options on here, like I said, for the transfer. So of course any wire transfer like MoneyGram, Western Union, you would have to contact those actual companies that facilitated the wire transfer. So this is, you know, helpful information. At least I hope it is. When it comes down, like I said, to your bank, the best thing to do is to have that proof that the transaction came out of your account, to be able to provide them as much evidence as you can. And everybody knows, if you've ever seen any of my videos, that I have a couple of just the facts videos where I literally just posted up the information that I reported on. So you guys are more than welcome to use, you know, those videos to kind of help give you some, you know, extra layer of evidence that you can use to facilitate your claim. Now, mind you, the bank, every bank has a fraud department. They will initiate an investigation. They will most certainly initiate an investigation. The bank even has the power, the fraud department has the power to forward charges over to that district's federal court. So this is why it's important to file a claim and report this information. If you decide to go through your bank, please, by all means, make sure that you at least try to file a complaint or a tip with the SEC or the FTC, or not as an option with the FBI, so that it can have, you know, you can show and prove that I filed a claim. And, you know, right now, none of these agencies have really started a receivership or anything like that. Here are the complaints. Here's the confirmation that I filed, just like I did with submitting my research to the SEC. That confirmation number, that page, you might want to print that out and show, you know, I filed a complaint with the SEC, the Better Business Bureau, the FTC, the FBI. Show all of this to your bank as proof that you are, you know, you've tried other methods to get your money back. And this probably is like the best last resort. Because like I said, if there's a receivership set up by the SEC, who knows how long that's going to take. So if you use this option to go to your bank and to try to recover your money, you know, from your bank, please know that if they find out that you basically doubled it, if you get money back, or if there's some reasonable expectation that, let's say the SEC decides to file charges against NovaTech, they issue an order, judge sign off on an order to freeze their accounts and their assets. That's the concept of like a reasonable expectation of recovery from the scammer. So that's basically saying that government has a great opportunity, at least 50% chance of recovering, you know, money by freezing assets and accounts, or seizing assets, and being able to, you know, if it's a house, a car, things like that, based on the value of that, it can sell that crap off and get money to put towards a receivership. But if you go the route with the bank, then my suggestion would be to, even if you still file a tip, which you probably should do to help make your case a lot stronger, but don't double dip. If you know that the SEC might be helping you recover your money, you know, if you want to try to file something with your bank and see what happens. Like I said, it worked for my mom's friend. but there were other factors that helped him, you know, being able to recover. I know a couple people actually commented and said that they tried that same thing and it worked for them as well. So, like I said, if you go to your bank, please do not go and try to get another refund from the SEC or the FTC or whatever. Because if the bank finds out, not only will they take back that money, but they're going to charge you a fine too. You know, please believe it's going to come with some consequences you're not prepared for. So just, you can still file your complaint and your tip with the SEC, FTC, FBI, and all of that, and use those confirmations to take to your bank. But when it comes to the refund, it's one or the other. Okay, so that just kind of helps to keep down people from also taking advantage of the situation. So make sure you contact your bank, look at the date of the transaction, you know, and ask your bank, listen, this is what happened. Here are all these cease orders. Here's my proof that I filed claims with these agencies because of this Ponzi scheme. And here's proof of the transaction that they took the money right out of my account. You know, or if it's a credit card, you know, that would be considered a chargeback. But if it's your bank account, you know, you let them know that. So utilize the cease orders. Like I said, you guys feel free to use my Just the Facts videos. Make sure you know, try to file your tip or your complaint with the SEC and the FBI, and then take that confirmation with you along with all the other evidence to your bank, and you can try to, you know, file a claim through that route. So I have a couple other tabs I want to show you guys. Hold on. So this is another article regarding, you know, the typical bank and how they handle fraud investigations and stuff like that, especially if you've been scammed from a Ponzi scheme that is proven to be a Ponzi scheme. So, like I said, in general, most banks, and this is on the Chargeback Guru's website, but most banks have a timely filing limit. Some may grant a special exception. They have the ability to use discretion. So you might look out, and even if it's past the 120 days or the 180 days or whatever it is, you know, depending on the circumstance, you know, you might be able to talk to a branch manager and get some help, and they may give, you know, special consideration. So you guys can check out this article. I don't want to read the whole thing because this video is going to be way long, but here's just more information. And then, of course, it's kind of a method to see how this could go and the outcome you might be able to expect. Like I said, their investigation is going to try to follow the money, basically. And if you have all your evidence to show that NovaTech is a Ponzi scheme, plus no one knows what these dumb peons are, they might, like I said, they probably just take all that into consideration and try to help you out or give you information on how you can try to recover some money through other options itself. So you guys make sure you read about these articles, contact your bank. And they have on here, you know, different ways to be able to recover your money. It speaks about the Fair Credit Billing Act, the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. These are laws. So, as you can see here, however, most banks give their customers 120 days to dispute a fraudulent charge and have more generous liability policies than the law requires. So, like I said, banks have the ability to use discretion. If it's past 120 days, or let's say your bank actually allows, you know, you to file a claim up to 180 days after the date of transaction. Every bank is different, but I would definitely highly encourage you guys to like I said, gather all your evidence to help, you know, present your case to your bank. And I mean, the worst that can happen is that they deny it, but it's at least worth a shot. And it might render some results a lot faster than solely waiting on these government agencies to take real action and to create these receiverships. If you need money right now to pay your immediate bills, you know, NovaTech is not going to pay your mortgage. They're not going to pay your bills for you. So the best bet would be to do what you can to help facilitate this process with you getting some of your money recovered. So yeah, guys, make sure you just check this out. And then there's some information as well from the IRS that might be an option. This is an article from, I think, NOLA website. But basically, options that you have, if you have, of course, it's not even an if with NovaTech, but considering the fact that they are a Ponzi scheme, and let's say you're not able to recover your money from the bank or government agency, then the next option would be to figure out a way to have this written off as a loss on your taxes. So what I will caution you is to ask questions and be careful if you go this route with the IRS and try to claim the loss on the back end on your taxes. If you have never reported any income or earnings or whatever from NovaTech and you're in the US, you might want to ask some questions about, you know, and be honest. Hey, I was scammed. I never got a 1099 form to file with my taxes. NovaTech has never reported anything to the IRS. So make sure you state that clearly up front so that they are not looking at you like, wait a minute, you've been getting all this money for all these years and you never paid taxes on this. So you don't want to get caught up in it. You don't want to lie because that's no benefit to lying. But you're telling the truth. You're just sharing that this is a Ponzi scheme. They never supplied me with any information to file on my taxes, and they've been taking my money this whole time. So technically what you all were getting was just a portion of other people's money. It was not income. You didn't earn anything. There's still no legitimate proof of trading. So a classic Ponzi scheme is taking new investors' money to pay old investors. And the IRS is well aware of what a Ponzi scheme is, but you want to make sure you reiterate that NovaTech is a Ponzi scheme. They took my money. They did nothing that they said they were going to do. And basically, they just took money from Group A and paid people in Group B. It's just shuffling money around. So make sure you state that up front. And then ask, you know, what can you do? Even if you want to contact, there are IRS advocacy organizations that know tax laws, and it could also help you with information on how to be able to claim your loss on your taxes. But please be careful in ensuring that, you know, you reiterate the fact that, because if you've been in NovaTech with this nonsense for almost 5 years, since the very beginning, and you never reported it, it's going to be rather difficult to still try to, you know, claim this on your taxes when you never reported the money that you got in the first place. So make sure you think about that and ask questions and let them know what happened. You know, provide your evidence. So that's also an option. I mean, if you can't get the money back, you know, in cash or refund it to your bank account or charge back on your credit card, you know, of course, filing it on your taxes as a loss. There are a couple of options on here. You guys want to make sure that you are using the correct option available to be able to report this as a loss. So this information here, and this is all, this law with the IRS was established after Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme collapsed because it affected so many people. It was the country's largest Ponzi scheme, basically. So because of that, and so many people lost, I mean, I'm talking about millions of dollars here. They had to create some legislation to kind of help victims to be able to recover. So they offer a couple options for you to be able to write this off as a loss. So like I said, I'm not a tax expert, but I just pulled this up so that you all can see this is an option as well if you do not get your money back in hand or in your account or on your credit card. So hopefully you guys check this out. This helps. And this is the last piece of information that I was able to find to kind of help you guys see your options on what to do and how to start trying to recover some of your money. This is on FINRA's website, FINRA, which falls under the SEC. So, of course, this article is basically kind of is reiterating the things I said earlier with making sure that you have all your evidence and information gathered. You can create a fraud file. Of course, you can petition these agencies like SEC, FTC to process a claim or a tip. You can take those fraud claims to your bank, use it as evidence with your bank. But you guys see here, you know, all of the regulators say you can file this Ponzi scheme nonsense with NovaTech too. So you have, of course, the SEC, FINRA, the NASAA, National Association of Insurance Commissioners, National Futures Association, the FTC, and then, of course, add on the FBI. And I think there is a contact in the state of Washington that another YouTuber, Truth For You, was speaking on in one of his videos. You know, I think every bit of piece of information helps. And then, of course, like I said, now this is the arbitration and mediation that I was thinking that these dumb petty-ons were doing, because they're certainly not battling anything in a court. So this is, you guys see here, arbitration mediation. They don't always involve courts. So if that's what they're doing, you know, then at least say that. You know, it just doesn't make sense to say they're battling something in court when there's no proof. But they could be arbitrating or mediating. I don't know with who, but, you know, there's a possibility because they're certainly not in court. So I hope you guys, you know, this is, like I said, on the FINRA's website. I hope this helps in giving you all more options. And as always, if you don't think that it's worth filing a claim, because I see those comments from people where it's almost like, stop discouraging others from trying to take action. NovaTech is a Ponzi scheme. It is not real. They do not invest. They're not a hedge fund. They're not a brokerage. They're not a bank or anything. No bank run has any direct effect on NovaTech. It may be indirectly if you're not able to, you know, put money into that. But a bank can run all day. It has nothing to do with NovaTech. Because all they're doing is taking people's money and paying other investors with it. You don't need a bank to do that. So it's like calling Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme, you know, saying it was due to a bank run. No, he may have started a bank run, but it certainly was not due to a bank run. A Ponzi scheme has nothing to do with banks. All that money is flowing internally inside of this Ponzi scheme. So it's you know, that's irrelevant. So if you don't think it's worth filing a tip or complaint or whatever, okay, that's your choice. But do not discourage others from doing that because you don't know what situation they're in. This is not a matter of a bad risk assessment in this dumb DeFi space. It's not. It was never an investment opportunity. It was always a Ponzi scheme from day one. She never did this the right way. If she wanted to have done this the right way, that little girl would have gotten a license or a certificate to be a hedge fund or a brokerage or any platform that houses money somewhere. Like, they would have gotten the license, the proper license to do that. And they never did it. Even after the first securities warning, they still did not correct their errors. And I always say this, nobody owes them anything, because they're damn sure not going to pay people's bills. And no one knows where they are. So I think that's like a clear sign they just want to walk away from this and pretend like it never existed, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they don't have a history of doing this crap, because they do. They failed to show up for any court hearing with 4 lawsuits. They failed to show up for a hearing in Canada that they were summoned to, or to request a hearing in either 3 of their cease orders. It's like, how much more needs to happen before people see that they were never legitimate and nothing was ever done to begin with the right way? So that's, you know, this is not, oh, you just lost your money and you need to move on. No, because it was never an investment. And like I said, until there is legitimate proof of trading, then the evidence is pointing this NovaTech nonsense towards a Ponzi scheme. And 3 cease orders don't lie. Facts are facts. Laws are laws. And in this reality, there are no flying unicorns. I'm just saying. Let's not be crazy. Please do not discourage people from filing it. If you keep saying, well, what you going to file a lawsuit for? We'll just sit back and find out then. How about that? If you're opposed to it, that's on you. That's your choice. But that's your choice. Because these same people leaving those dumb comments or saying this in videos are not going to pay your bills. They are not going to take care of your kids. They're not going to help with college tuition or medical expenses or anything like that. They're not going to do any of that. That's why half of them are a joke to me, if I'm to be honest, as I've always been. These promoters are nothing more than a joke, because they will not help you financially, but then they'll try to say things to discourage you from reporting NovaTech. So whenever someone says that, talking about it's a waste of time to file this with the... No, it's not a waste of time. The more people raise an alarm to this, the harder it will be to ignore it. And like I said, it really, it's a shame that the SEC is moving this damn slow. But this is just a clear case of a Ponzi scheme that collapsed and defrauded people. This is not about a bad investment company that bought stocks that ended up being worthless. No. No. And like I said, show me legitimate proof of trading. Then holler at me. Until then, it's a Ponzi scheme. 3 cease orders are proving it. A treasure trove of evidence. They were always deceptive from day one. And they didn't disclose anything. So you can make sure you notate all of that and inform your bank's fraud department or the credit card company or Cash App or Kraken or eToro. You let them know all this information. Give them all the evidence that you know is out there, like from my video. You know the information is out there? Show them that. Print it out, or do a print screenshot or whatever. Show them the information so they can see that this was never an investment opportunity. It was always a Ponzi. So I hope you guys find this very useful and helpful. Make sure you also, if you believe that you have shared your bank information with any upline or any upline, you know, especially for those who had trouble trying to send money into NovaTech, and you had to have an upline show you how to do it, or they just, oh, let me see your phone, I'll do it for you. You might want to think about trying to take your phone somewhere to make sure that there's no hidden apps that's stealing your information. A Ponzi scheme is a Ponzi scheme. There's nothing honest about a Ponzi scheme. It's all built on lies and deception. There's no reason to give them the benefit of the doubt for any reason whatsoever, because benefit of the doubt does not pay your rent. So you have no reason to give NovaTech and dumb Pettyons or these promoters any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. And if they want you to believe what they say, then send them all your bills and then ask them, okay, which ones you want to pay this month? Because if you're not helping pay bills for people, give their money back, then shut up. It's ridiculous. You're not helping anything. You're just throwing fuel to the fire. So the more people that raise an alarm, file complaints, the harder it is to ignore. And hopefully, you know, the faster this process will go where they get charged and then they really do have their accounts frozen and their assets seized. Hopefully that does happen. But until then, here are your options. Consider these options. Make sure you take your devices. Make sure there's no hidden apps on it. Make sure your information is not coming up somewhere where it should not be. My mother had to get a new driver's license. So if you think that your information, like your driver's license, is compromised, you are going to have to go get a new driver's license. And trust me, Department of Driver Services in any state understands, because these scams are just out of control now. So when my mother said that, she had her information compromised, that's the first thing that the DDS stated. Don't worry, this happens all the time, believe it or not. People fall victim to identity theft or a Ponzi scheme or some scam involving their information, and they have to go in and get a whole new driver's license. So I would encourage you all to do that as well. Get your new license and a new driver's license ID number, and take a new picture. Take a new photo. Make sure you sign your driver's license. That way, if anything were to happen, if someone steals your driver's license or they get information off of it, they damn sure won't be able to replicate your signature. I think I actually had to put a thumbprint on my driver's license. So any added any added layer of security that you can get to protect you and your information and your finances, please consider those options. And then, of course, if you have passwords to any accounts, or your system, maybe your upline, use your phone to do something, or your laptop, change your passwords. Make sure there's no viruses on there stealing your information. If you need to, at the end of the day, if you're going to file a claim with your bank, make sure you request a new debit card or credit card. Even if you got a credit card through your financial institution, make sure you tell them, my information is compromised. I need a new, start with the new driver's license and then take that driver's license to the bank. So you can show, I had to get a new driver's license. Here's all the evidence here with NovaTech. It's a Ponzi scheme. They took this money out of my account, and you can see the transaction right here. So those things, I think, would help you recover your money when there's an attempt to at least show your bank, like, look, this is all the stuff I've gathered. Here are all the steps that I've taken so far. And I know that they're, be more than willing to work with you, especially if you have history with your bank. So don't let these dumb promoters discourage you all from doing this. There's no money lost or even earned. In my opinion, nobody earned anything because they weren't doing anything. They were just moving money around. So either way, you guys make sure you check it out and leave me a comment. Let me know if that works out for you or not. I know a couple of people have already. Make sure you share your story. If you have received your money back, whether it be from your bank or the credit card company or NovaTech itself, and they somehow surprised you and sent you back your refund, share that, because you don't have anything to lose at this point, and it's a Ponzi scheme. So share that information and your process and what you had to gather and present, so that other people can be educated on what you did, and then that's an option for them to try. So make sure you guys share your story. Share, if you got money back, there's no reason not to, just share that information. Because NovaTech can't take it back. So they can do nothing. If you get your money back from your bank, NovaTech can't do anything about that. So there should be no fear of any retribution or retaliation or any of that. And if you are a whistleblower and you decide to file a tip, because everybody that does is considered a whistleblower, there's a whole law that protects you from retaliation. So if this little girl buck back, because she can't do anything about you getting your money back from her dumb Ponzi scheme, there's nothing they can do about it. Not even the promoters. Nothing they can do about it. And if you don't want to give your name, you can just do it anonymous. But it would be helpful for those who have received their refunds to make sure you please share the information. And let people know what you did, because every situation might not be the exact same across the board. But, there's at least a greater chance in knowing what you had to bring with you and what was required to do a fraud claim with your bank or chargeback with your credit card. So, all right. Either way, I hope you guys find this useful, and I'm done. Deuces.